This is set number 7665, the Republic Cruiser. This is a Star Wars set from 2007, 919 pieces, 5 minifigures if you count the droids, and retailed originally for $90. Now, modern day, you'll probably find this for somewhere between $80 to $180, depending on where you look on eBay. So that gives you an idea about, how much value it's gone up. Usually towards the higher side. It's more like twice the value than it used to be. So, let's take a closer look at this set. We're going to start off with the instructions. And boy, I gotta have this moved around because it's such a big set to get to the instructions. We have 2 giant books of instructions. This came on a giant box I don't have available. And here's the first instruction book. It'll show inside all 5 figures. It doesn't have numbered bags from what I can remember, but it also doesn't show them in here. I think there were numbered bags, but I don't remember if they're in here. No, this one, no, I remember this one didn't have numbered bags. So, when we look through this entire book, you can see we built most of the vehicle through here. 75 pages. That's pretty big for just building, a lot of the big stuff in it. You build a lot of the base. Then it shows you some of the sets from 2007 on the back. This is also from the 30th anniversary of Star Wars in the same year of it, although this set is not considered it because it's from Episode 1. This is number 2 of 2 instruction booklets, another large one that builds more of the, some of the rear engine stuff. It builds the, some of the stuff inside of the ship. I went too far. It also built the escape pod, which is on the front. So we got a lot more of the accessories built here, and this one takes 61 pages to build. In the back of this book, we have the what do you call it? Piece count. All the pieces shown on the 2 pages. It's actually pretty good. And we also have some of the features shown on the back of the set. And there's some more features on pretty large pages. We also get to see the 2007 sets. Some of these I've reviewed, some of them I have not reviewed yet. Let me know in the comments if there are any other Star Wars ones you'd specifically like to see reviewed. Then they have a small battle scene with some of those sets. Star Wars: The Complete Saga coming fall 2007, and that we already know about that. Win Lego products, Lego Club on the back, and we have the same back for both of these sets. So, let's get on to the actual set itself. We got our minifigure display. We'll have to take apart some of the set to show you around. We're going to start off in the middle section with the minifigures and work our way around it. First 2 minifigures we have are, hold on, I'm just pulling up the names. R2, R7. This is the only astromech droid. First 2 figures we have in this set are R2, R7. This is a green astromech droid similar to R2-D2. A lot of the printing is the same, but it has a different color in green. As you can see on him, we also got the nice shiny top of him. A very detailed middle section. And we'll spin him around so you can see him on the back. Nothing on the back. And the other character that we have is the Republic Captain. He is supposed to come with just a hairpiece, although we have a Republic pilot that comes with regular hair. He has pretty plain face, not particular for this minifigure for the face. He's got an okay pants. I like the torso because it's probably one of the 2 times you get the torso. In fact, yes, this is the only set that you get the Republic Captain and the Republic pilot. So we have those 2, and there's no back printing on the head. So we'll put our figures back in there. And this is showing you a little bit of the features of the set, so you get a surprise. We'll take out the Republic captain here, and he's, just as I said before, pretty much the same as the Republic. I mean, the Republic pilot is what we're showing. Pretty much the same as the Republic captain. No back printing, same head, same body. This one just has a blue hat, and he fits in the front. Then the next few, I'll show you one of the features. The next two are our Jedi in the set. Appropriately, Obi-Wan Kenobi in his Padawan form, and Qui-Gon Jinn in, I guess, more of a Jedi Master form. Not really sure on that one. So here we have they're both the same torso printing for these two figures. The only difference between them is the head and the lightsabers. This is also the same printing that we have in the 1999 version of Obi-Wan. And it also has the same torso as the later version of Obi-Wan in 2000, roughly around 2007, in fact, with the Episode 3 set. Now, this one has the wrong face. And I looked on Brickset, they also have the same face for this. Yet, on the picture of the set, pretty sure in the book of it, they have the original Qui-Gon Jinn face used. Yeah, they do have it shown in there. I don't know why, but it must have been some kind of printing error or, you know, manufacturing error that we have this face in here. It's not the same face that we were expecting. So I guess we'll first get on to the feature little model in this set. This is our escape pod, which is capable for fitting 2 minifigures, and the capes fit in there nicely, so we don't have any wrinkles. This is built on a couple different sides of studs. We have one section that's built in Technic, one section that's built with studs on the sides, one section that has studs facing up, so we have them faced in inside of here. You don't even need to put down the lightsabers, they fit right over it when we close it up. Very nice little build. This goes back in here, and let me just get it back in. It's a little tricky. There we go. Now I grabbed it. So we'll take a look at this all the way around first, then we'll show you more of the main features other than the escape pod inside. So you can see all the different plates that are used, the different tile pieces. Lots of detail in the back of it. It's a lot skinnier in the back with all these different plates. It's very thin here. Then it gets bigger with all these engines. There are 3 engines built the same way. We'll just bring it over on this side so you get to see it like so. Got lots of details in here. We got this arced area to fit the escape pod. It is the same on both sides. So we'll do a run through that side. We do have landing gear on here too. So I'll show you more of the intricate detail in this middle section. You can see the kinds of pieces that are used in here. They're a little bit different on each side, but mostly symmetrical. And we'll just flip this over so you get a look on the underside. You can see how these landing gear are made. You can retract these landing gear in case you want to move it around. Here's a good way to hold it. This is a pretty sturdy way to hold it. Otherwise, you could just hold it from underneath. So I'll put down the camera in just a sec, and we will look underneath. I just want to show you the back side. You see how those engines are, see how thin it is. Alright, we'll flip it over. And here's a look at the underside. You can see we have a gear here. This allows us to move the satellites on top and some of the radars. This shows you how to put in the landing gear if you want to have it taking off. Very large pieces that can fit in there. A bunch more plates that makes that surrounding on both sides, which is actually really nice. I like that idea. So that way it's not lacking. However, I think this section might need a little bit more depth to it. But this one's definitely not lacking. You know, we have the top of it that looks the same. The bottom, you know, with these added pieces makes it, you know, makes it work on both sides. Even though you don't see that side much, you still get the feel for it, you know, being a complete ship. Okay, so now we'll take a look on the inside. So first what we're going to start off with, we showed you before this little gear, and this turns the whole console of the radar on top. You can see how that moves. It's a pretty simple feature. It's a nice one if you want to, you know, get some quick play with it. You're not too, you know, not doing too much, but it's still like, you know, if you want to have this setting down somewhere and you want to scan the area around, you know, this is a nice little feature. But that's all it does. Next, we'll take off this section. It has a little handle on it, so you can take it off. And also has a couple pieces that can move it up. I just need to fix one of them because it started to fall apart. There we go. So here's the underside of that piece. And you can see it fits in pretty well. This red brick in the middle fits exactly into this space and makes it cozy enough that you can take it out when you need to, but also stays sturdy when you want it to, you know, to stay in. Now inside of here we have a lot of activity going on. This is where a lot of the main features and insides of the ship can be seen. First section we have this little cargo box. It has two doors on both sides in which we hold a lot of our tools. On one side we have a blaster, and in the other side we have another blaster and binoculars. So that fits back into place right here. Next up we have this small spacecraft, kind of a hover ship I guess, or maybe a small speeder. The wings fold out, you can sit someone in here, and just takes right off. This also fits in nicely in this section. Doesn't, you know, can rattle a little bit, but you can still hold it in place. The next part we have, I'll show you this. This is a function for showing blasters on the outside. However, they do not actually, they're not flick fires. So what you do is on the outside, you can even use this, which is a good thing of the set. You just push this piece forward. You can see some of the pieces hit this window and show some blasters on the outside. So in case it has some run-ins with enemies, you can do that. I'll put this back on so I can show you how it looks on the outside. Okay, so we have our little brown piece here. You can even see the other brown piece lines up with it, so you know where it is. And then we just slide this along gently. And we have the blasters out. You can move this a little bit further out. This is as far as the blasters will actually go. And again, it's only just for show. It doesn't have any actual projectile function. Now, we'll flip it around to the other side. Then I'll open it up again. And we have this section. You might remember from the movie. When the Republic frigate is under attack, I believe is in this. Yeah, it was in the first movie. They have a station where all of these astromech droids are positioned. Obviously, those would be much larger, but for minifigures, it's only enough to show the kind of features, but, you know, not show it to scale. So, you have this small section where droids are staying in place, and what their job is, they can be commissioned on the computer to go out to different parts of the ship and repair stuff. That's the idea of this station. They don't have any features except for, again, the blasters come out. Same as on the first side. It's still a nice feature. It's a nice, clever build for this set. And this whole section stays in place you can actually move these sections around. However, they are meant to stay upwards for the angling for the set. But you can see they move around, and you can see underneath there how this holds together. This is one platform that's attached with some Technic pieces. So it's very clever how they built that. I don't know if I keep using the word clever, so I apologize if you hear the same thing multiple times. Now we'll move this back over to the front. We have the last feature of the set. We have just the cockpit. Nothing real special. We just have our captain sitting in here. He does not sit on any studs. You can see he just has some tiles in there, so you can seat him in the few studs on the side. Let me see if I can get closer to it. But basically, you have a few studs on the side where he can sit and pretty much stay still. Then you can close it. You can see him a little bit on the outside if you look through this window. You can see a bit of his silhouette where his hands are. And now, I think we've seen everything on this set. I think we're ready for the final opinion about it. So overall, this is a $90 set, remind you. Oh, I also wanted to mention, sorry about that. These holes, or these back engines are completely fragile. Well, not fragile, empty. But they can be fragile. Alright, so, sorry about that before. Alright, let's do the final opinion. Overall, for a $90 set, this is amazing. I don't have many $90 sets to compare this to give it like, okay, is it good for features, is it good for the size of it? But in comparison to other ones I've seen for around $90, this one suits pretty well. Especially with Star Wars, big sets like this usually have a good amount of features. Now granted, this is 2007. We didn't have flick-fire missiles, and we have very few projectiles as was. So it's probably the best choice that LEGO didn't go for any projectiles in the set, because it'd be hard to place them in where you could still use them, and it also doesn't have too many other places to put them where, I mean, in some places it might make the set look inaccurate, in some places it might make the set a little harder to play with. So I'm actually okay with the little doors opening up, because it still has a surprise look like it's being, ready to fire cannons, but it doesn't have to actually fire. It's still good for play. Now, it is big, so you want to be careful with holding this. I did say this was an okay, like it was very, structurally sound, but I wouldn't hold it just by that. I would prefer holding it on the bottom of it, because it's a lot easier, and it'll be less of a heartache if you drop it and parts of it break. This took me quite some time to build. In between other activities, it took me about 2 or 3 days to build. So, and I was building this with someone else too. So, it's definitely something for older kids to build. I would say maybe 12 or so, but I don't know the actual age range for this set. And, some kids, even little, could build impressive models. So I'm really not going to say anything as far as the age, but I would say just take your time with building this set. It would definitely take some time to build it, because there's a lot of intricate pieces to it. And it's very structurally sound, so I really like that. There were only a few times where pieces fall off, and that would just be in the antenna area. But it's really no big deal if it is, because that's more of like, extra decorations on it. Definitely a display-worthy model. This is my number 1 in the top 6 keep-built models that I ever owned in LEGO sets. So I highly advise this. I am not going to take this apart after I build it. I really want to, just to save space, but I also like it for display purposes. And I know LEGO Star Wars is very good for having display-worthy models. So, also, we get 5 minifigures with this set, which is kind of low, but it's also reasonable. Considering all that we can do with this set, you only need 5 minifigures. I mean, if you threw in any more minifigures, where would you put them? There would be no place for them. And even if you had another place for them, there really wouldn't, it would be too much. Considering the figures that you do get in the set, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn have been used in sets before. In this variation, they have not been used in other sets. This is pretty much the only set you can get all 5 of these figures in, unless you try to buy them online separately. So, it's the only way to get all these variations of figures. It's the only way to get, you know, some of these only have one variation, such as the Republic Captain, the Republic Pilot, and the R2, R7. Only ways you can get them. For $90, there was a really good price because of the price per piece, 919 pieces. Nowadays, it's around $180 or more. So I don't know if it's still worth it to you guys, but still, at $90, it's a good value for an Episode 1 Star Wars. You know, it's a licensed set. Something to consider, because sometimes licensed sets push the price a little bit higher. But this is at a very good price point of its time. I probably wouldn't get this at a higher price if I saw it today. But that's up to you guys. If you're fans of Star Wars, if you like some of the larger ships like this is the same type of model that you see for the Tantive 4 and for the Republic Frigate. It's the same shape, roughly, but with different features, maybe slightly different size, but it's the same relative shape. So if you like those kinds of sets, if you like the Episode 1 sets, this is something you might want to pick up. But you can only find it online nowadays. I don't know. I guess it's okay. It's not something I would highly recommend, but it's something like, if you have it, it's really good. I guess it's, you know, does what it needs to do. However, modern LEGO Star Wars sets, even for this kind of size, can have, you know, better features, more minifigures, more unique figures. So it may not rank well with other LEGO Star Wars sets in the modern era, but for its time, it seems like a pretty cool set. And I didn't get this one in stores. I got this from a friend of mine, or at least at the time. He just wanted to give it to me for no real reason. So I was really happy to get this for, you know, just for getting it. It's a nice set, and I'm glad it has all the pieces to it. It was a very challenging build. I appreciated the challenge with it. So, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I covered everything I needed to about this set. If there's anything else you would like to know, let me know in the comments. If you want to see any other reviews, let me know in the comments also. Any specific sets you want to see from LEGO and K'NEX. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And we'll try to turn this around, have it take off. Oh, gotta be careful with my hand.